So hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to another success story session for EO exam. And today I'm honored to have with me Mr. Prince Bhalla, who has recently been selected as an EO officer. So once again, congratulations to you, sir, for becoming the
Thank you, sir.
EO officer.
Thank you.
So how are you feeling right now after becoming an EO officer?
I am feeling good actually. As I said that, I have cleared this exam for the second time. So naturally, I am feeling happy twice now
Okay, so
after
that's
clearing
really
this exam for two times.
okay. So you have cleared the exam second time.
Yes,
Okay. So guys, let me tell you that in the today's session, we will dive into his story of hard work, perseverance, and dedication, and how collectively all of them together helped him to become an EOA officer. And that can also help you in your journey of becoming an EOA officer. So, sir, let's start with your education background first. So, can you just let our aspirants know about your educational background?
actually, I have done BTech in engineering physics from IIT Delhi and from 2012 to 2016. And after that, basically, I joined an IT sector job in Gurgaon. For 4 months, I did that job, but then I quit that job and started preparing for civil services. I joined Vajiram and Ravi in the same year. Then, after preparing for 2 years, I cleared the GICD assistant manager exam and I worked as an assistant manager in GICD Corporation of India in 1 year from October 2018 to 2019 October. Then I cleared the National Housing Bank assistant manager exam and I became assistant manager in Delhi in National Housing Bank. I worked there for around 10 months. Then I resigned in August 2020. So after that, I have been preparing for civil services. My optional preparation was a bit sloppy, so I just took that opportunity to complete that, and I prepared for civil services for around 2 years again. Then I joined as an accounts officer in Bangalore in Malleshwaram, in regional office Malleshwaram, in January 2023 when I cleared EPFO 2020 exam in 2022. So I worked there for around 6 months. Then I was having mains in civil services mains in 2023. So then I resigned from there in August 2023, and now I have cleared this exam again.
So, as you have mentioned that you have cleared some other examinations as well, like GIC, NHB, and EOA also you cleared, and this is the second time you have cleared it. So, how
Yes.
did you manage to keep up your motivation levels? Because because there are times when people just get satisfied with the after clearing a single examination. But how did you manage to clear all these examinations in this particular timeline?
Actually, to this, I will say that if you are preparing for multiple examinations, that is in itself, it is a very good thing to do because you have the experience of studying multiple things, which does not add to the boredom of a for the preparation of a single exam. Like for example, if you are preparing only for civil services, then you are basically only reading humanities subjects. But if you prepare for banking exams side by side, so you have that kind of different taste when you prepare for aptitude, English, and maths. Oh, sorry, reasoning. So when you prepare for these sections as well, so that obviously boosts your confidence also. And when you start clearing the exams after preparing so much, then you start feeling motivated, and that adds on to the motivation for the preparation of the your parent exam also. That is the exam which may be RBI grade B or civil services anything.
Hmm.
So it is very good to fill the forms of these examinations because even these are very good jobs. To be very honest, these jobs are no way less than like people sometimes they see every exam from the angle of civil services, but that is not correct because civil services itself it is a very dynamic exam and it is a very uncertain trend every year. So, and like I said that if you are having this experience beforehand, then that helps you in the interview of UPSC also. Like this interviews of EPFO are also conducted by UPSC. So it helped me a lot. Like your biodata gets strengthened and your DAF becomes a proper thing to ask questions from. Otherwise, it can be random. Like they might question you on like why have you been preparing for so long and you haven't cleared a single exam also, and moreover like why have you not done jobs in the gap that you have been preparing since last 4 or 5 years, but you have not cleared a single exam. So that sometimes goes against you also in UPSC interview. So it is better to, give banking exams and other like regulatory bodies exams, so that if you clear them, firstly, it boosts your confidence. Secondly, they are equally good jobs. And thirdly, they help you a lot in the interviews of your parent exam.
Okay. So as you were basically preparing for your civil services examination, so
Yes.
how did the EO AO exam happen to you?
EOAO exam happened like this, like when I saw the notification in 2020, when it came for the first time in January, I think.
Hmm.
So I noticed that, 70% of 60-70% of the syllabus was overlapping with my civil services preparation. And just the three sections, that is accounts, labor laws, and social security, were different in that. And as I said that, I had already prepared for SEBI exam also in
Hmm.
2020 itself. So I was prepared with accounts also. So just labor laws and social security I had to prepare from scratch basically. Social security also we have basically studied in polity, but that is just the philosophical part that we study, even labor laws also. So I thought that, let me just try this, and only two sections I need to prepare. So after preparing, I'll be able to crack this exam maybe, and then I cracked it finally.
Okay, so good to hear that. Apart from that, as you mentioned that you have earlier as well cleared this particular exam, right?
Yes, sir.
And when we compare the two examinations, the previous recruitment test and this the last recruitment test which has happened, so we always tell people that the PYQs are the most important sources for any aspirant. But when we see the difficulty level between the two recruitment tests, so the previous test was quite easier in the nature, but this year the exam was quite difficult in the nature. So how did you manage your temperament levels that time, as you might have got surprised after seeing that particular paper? And there are so many times we have heard from the students that basically they just lose their confidence level when they see such kind of difficulty level of the exam. But how did you manage?
See, actually, to this, I will say, like, UPSC exams are like that only. Like if one year the prelims exam is easy, that year mains exam is difficult. So pretty before like the exam, I was knowing that, this year exam will be difficult, because
Hmm.
2021 was a Corona year basically, when the exam happened just after the COVID second wave. So that angle was also there, why the exam was easy that time. And moreover, only general studies, mostly general studies was asked in that exam. So that is why also it appeared easy to civil services aspirants. But this year, like, and at that time, there was not much awareness of the exam. That was also one of
Hmm.
the reasons. But since, so many success happened, and it was people got to know about that job, that it's a UPSC exam, and only the most important advantage is that only single exam is there. There is no mains. So it is like a direct ticket to a very good job. So then people started preparing well, like even the courses also, started flooding across the channels. So that because of that reason also exam had to be difficult that time, and like more awareness was there, more content was available on the internet also. So exam, that's why the level and competition also increased in these 2 years. So, but like difficult regarding the difficulty of the exam, you should not feel much about that, because that is not in your hands. You should just be thorough with your preparation, all the sections of the syllabus that are there, and then you should go with free mind, because inside the exam nothing can happen, nothing can change inside the exam. So it is better that you don't leave any section. Like civil services aspirants, when they will see the syllabus, they have a habit of thinking that we'll be able to clear this exam just with our GS knowledge, especially those who have cleared prelims. So that sort of some kind of overconfidence is there in that, in their mind, somewhere at the back of their mind. So that should not be there, and you should for the other section also, because they are the deciding factor in this exam. Because everybody is well prepared with your GS, since people are studying for civil services since last 2, 3, 4 years also. So that GS portion, that will be a level playing field for everybody. You cannot score 200 out of 100 in that, for that
Hmm.
matter. So these three sections, these are the deciding factors, because weightage has also increased. If you see that in
Yes.
21 exam, I think only 15 questions total were there from these three sections. But in last recruitment in both EPFO EO and in APFC also, around 40-45 questions were there. And most importantly, these sections are very factual also, but very scoring also. So, in my opinion, when you are starting with the preparation of this exam, you should start with labor laws first, and you should give regular revision, because that is a factual content, and which is tenable to be forget. You will forget in the before the exam, immediately before the exam, under the pressure of the exam. Also, sometimes it is you are not able to recall. So for that reason, you should prepare that beforehand, and you should give regular revisions to these three sections because they are totally factual, and that's why very scoring also. And they are the edge-giving sections in this exam. So you should first prepare them, and then you should be thorough with your civil services preparation, which generally everybody is, because since they are preparing for civil services, they will be. So that is my take on the difficulty of the exam.
Okay, so quite very nicely you have managed through that particular part. So as you mentioned that you are already preparing for civil services, right? And apart from that, to strengthen your DAF, you are also preparing for other banking examinations and other regulatory bodies exam as well. So how did you manage your resources and your preparation of the different subjects? As you can see that there were some additional subjects which were also the deciding factor in the EO AO exam. So how you were able to manage them along with your
Actually,
UPSC civil services examination preparation?
see, this civil services preparation, it mainly, it happens in the first 2 years only when you do the coaching for your GS and your optional. After that, only revision is needed in that because you have already made the notes. So that is not as much challenging as is the preparation of the remaining three sections. For that,
Hmm.
you can take any master course. Like both the times I had taken this EduTap master course for the preparation of these three sections. So you can go through any such nice material, and you have to be regular with your preparation, and it can be managed along with that because mainly, like, I'm talking about people who have given 2 3 attempts of civil services. After that, generally they study only 1 or 2 months before the prelims because only that much is needed before the prelims at least. So, and this exam happens in July, most importantly. Matlab, it happens generally after the prelims exam of UPSC. So people have time in that sense also because like around 1 1.5 months is there. So you can devote these 1 1.5 months solely to the preparation of these three remaining sections. Take some nice material and give mock tests so that you strengthen your preparation, and finally you can clear this exam. There is not much hurdle in after that if you do that much effort.
Yeah. So as you mentioned that about the master course of EduTap, so can you just throw some light on it that how exactly it was and whether it was sufficient from the exam point of view and whether it really helped you in clearing your EO exam?
Yes. So actually, like I said, that in my case, I had done the master course, which is basically in the nature of a crash course.
Hmm.
So, like, I had prepared for SEBI from the EduTap course only. So, accounts part especially, in detail, I had studied from the classes that EduTap uploaded, the recorded classes. So, after that, basically, only summary sheets were needed in my case. Otherwise, in accounts is a very big and understanding based section, so you need to watch videos, but that much time we cannot invest for this exam because nobody knows, how many questions will be asked from there. And most importantly, since the questions are applied, so there is not much certainty also in this section that whether you will get them correct or not. So for that, I just went through the summary sheets. At the last moment I'm talking about, you can go through the summary
Hmm.
sheets of EduTap. They are very helpful, and and most importantly, the quizzes, the short quizzes after each section, which are there on the portal, because they pick the most important portions of the subject and which can be actually asked in the exam, and they are actually asked, like especially in labor laws, like you have to remember the number of days, 60 days, 90 days, like that. So that only by reading you will not be able to recall in the examination. Only when you have attempted the quiz for that particular section, and when you get some question wrong in that, then that hits you inside the examination when it comes. So the summary sheets and the quizzes I found very helpful, especially for the last minute preparation, because generally the questions are directly asked based on that only. Even if you are not able to read the entire detailed document of EduTab, you should just at the last moment go through the summary sheets. That is the most important, and that is more than sufficient also.
So very important point that sir has mentioned that there is some factual information and there are some those information which are the major crux of those chapters that we are required to remember. And for that, repeated revision is really very important. And just reading that whole document is not at all sufficient from the exam point of view.
One
So a
more thing
very
I would like to add, that
yes.
this marathon sessions also, they are also very helpful, which are uploaded on the channel for free, because I found them very really helpful for exams like RBI Grade B and SEBI, especially the GA part. That had even helped me to clear this GA, this prelims of RBI Grade B. Otherwise, I was not
Okay.
much prepared. Also, I just watched the GA marathon, and I think 4 or 5 questions directly, additional 4 or 5 questions came from
Mm.
that, and I cleared the cutoff 4 or 5 marks above
Mm.
the benchmark. So I found myself very lucky on that, that I just went through the GA section a day before, and it helped me a lot. The marathon session.
Okay, so that's good to hear that the marathon sessions also played an important role, and it also helped you in in having some edge over the others. And I think your SEBI preparation also helped you a lot in your accountancy part, right?
Yes, sir.
So apart from this, how did you basically after doing the EduTap master course and solving all the quizzes and reading out the summary sheets and then attempting those kind of MCQs basically helped you a lot in your preparation for these accountancy and other important subjects, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's good to hear. And apart from this, we all know that when the recruitment test exam result, when the recruitment test result were being announced, right? But the interviews held after a very long time. So how did you manage, as you were already preparing for some other examinations as well? So how did you manage to simultaneously stay in connection with the EO exam? Like you were already preparing for other exams and you are also required to prepare for an interview, but dates are not coming out.
Yes, sir. To this, I'll say like I cleared this exam last time also. So, and since I have given 7, 8 interviews in all, so basically, I this interview part is I am very much conversant with, because I know what will be asked from my DAF. Like you, everybody should prepare their DAF very properly, and expected questions. There are so many
Hmm.
videos on YouTube on this interview part, that how you should prepare, what kind of questions can be asked. So I have done that part like 4 or 5 years back. Matlab only just I think 2 or 3 pages notes you have to prepare based on your DAF. Like suppose, like in my case, my hobby is astrology, so I am very much conversant with the principles of astrology. So from like I'll give my example. So from this hobby, both applied questions and factual questions are asked. So if you are like some people write cricket in their hobby, so but you should not just write cricket. You should write one day cricket or like test cricket, so that the scope of questions gets limited and you can prepare that part beforehand, and then you can go for the interview. Like similarly, you can do with your graduation subject also. Like in my case, it was physics. So I know that the latest research that happens on the particle physics and all, and this the principles given by Stephen Hawking's famous scientist Einstein. Questions
Yes.
based on that will be asked. So I had more importantly, like I will suggest that for civil services aspirants, if the interviewer does not know your optional, like in EPFO especially, they don't know your optional. So you should name your graduation subject only as your option, because otherwise the area of questions, it gets very diverse. Like if you will say that my anthropology is my optional, but you have done graduation in physics, then they will grill you both on physics and anthropology. So in my suggestion, if the interviewer does not know your optional, you should say your graduation subject only as your optional in civil services also. That is one more thing. And like your home, you must be very much prepared with your hometown and its history also, and its relatively political or economic importance, any kind of or cultural importance for that matter. So that's how you have to prepare for the interview part, and you have to prepare notes of 5, 10 pages, based on your city, based on your graduation subject, based on your hobby. And especially you have to, for working candidates who have gaps in their CV or your DAF, they have to be very much prepared with the rational and logical answers, like why they were not doing the job at that time. You just cannot say that ki I had my civil services, so I was preparing for civil services, so I left the job. Answers should be solid, and they must be pragmatic also. So you should be able to justify what you have done in your DAF. So basically, and in my opinion, if somebody takes some decision, he takes it convincingly only. So
Yes.
you should speak the truth, because that reason might be genuine, since you have taken it. That's why you have taken it. That is my opinion on that. And so that's how you can prepare your interview beforehand, and you can judge the expected questions by mock interviews also. Mock interviews of EduTap helped me a lot both the times. Like since I was a working candidate, working at the same position as an accounts officer. So I remember in the mock interview, one of the panel members, he asked me that the number of subscribers in EPFO. I was able to answer that because I have read the annual report. So he told me that you should be very much thorough with your annual report and your training manual, so that the questions based on the organization in which you have worked or you are working, you should be knowing the factual information about that. So that helped me a lot in the interview, since he asked me about the amount of claims EPFO settles in a single day. So I was able to answer that also based on that. So that even mock interviews help you to prepare the expected questions that can be asked.
And how did the EduTap mock interviews helped you, and how was the panel? And was their feedback really helpful for you in order to cover up the questions in your actual interview?
Yeah, that's what I mentioned. No, like this example of EPFO I've given, that he told me that he asked me the number of subscribers, so he told me to be prepared with such kind of questions. One was that, and the other panelist, I think he was from physics background, so he asked me about the journey of quantum physics, how it has evolved, and that is a very important question, especially based on my profile. So this is how it helped me, and this book. So in the interview, they asked me about quantum computing, which is a related field, because it is going, they linked current affairs and quantum mechanics. So current affairs related to your field also you should know very well, and it's a very hot topic also these days. So that's how it helped me a lot in preparing myself for the interview.
Exactly. So very important point, and one smart approach that I would like to again draw here, that sir has basically adopted. You can always eliminate the unnecessary questions from the other fields, and you can narrow down the scope and the probability of questions to be asked to you in the interview by just focusing on that particular area. Like he mentioned about, when you are mentioning about the cricket, then one day cricket and test cricket. So that is, I think, a kind of smart approach that you can also adopt for your interview preparation in your upcoming examinations for whichever you are trying to appear for, right? So it's
One
really
more thing
impressive.
I'll One more thing I would like to add in the interview part is that suppose you are sitting jobless, like in my case it was the case. Like
Hmm.
I had resigned in August 2023, and I was sitting jobless at this point. So he asked me, like, what have you been doing these years? So don't let him play over that vulnerability. You just say that I am having an offer. You tell him a lie that I am having an offer of some of so and so organization, some good
Hmm.
organization's name you
Hmm.
take, but you should be very well prepared with that,
Yeah,
because that reduces your vulnerability. Because interview is all about your psychological vulnerability. So don't let him take over edge over that point. Otherwise, he will start, taking over you inside the interview, and you will start getting nervous and you lose the interview.
exactly. And you might be grilled over that as well.
Yes, that's what.
So a very important point. So apart from this, when we talk about your overall preparation, right? So as you have already mentioned that it was a continuous process of preparing for the interview, and one should always prepare for the interview part, like the sir has already mentioned, like knowing everything about your hometown and it is significances across the different parameters. You should also prepare yourself about that, along with your hobbies. So very important point that you have mentioned. So apart from that, as you have mentioned that it is quite a long journey for you, and I can sense that your major exam was the UPSC only, the civil services examination. So during all these years, as you have also seen some failures as well, and sometimes you got successes as well. So how did you manage through those times?
To that, I can say, sir, that since my main target is civil services only, so I have always focused over that majorly. And the other exams that have come in my way, I have just prepared them, 1 or 2 months before that. Because since I have prepared for regulatory bodies exam also, as I mentioned, for SEBI, RBI, Grade B. So immediately before the exam, in my case, only the revision is needed. So for that thing was not a challenge in my case, because I have been preparing over the years, and since I already mentioned that when you are preparing for civil services, if you prepare for other exams, that adds on diversity to your knowledge also, and it reduces the boredom also, and it most importantly it motivates you. Like if I mention that in GIC only 25 seats were there and I cleared that exam, and in NHB only 15 seats were there I cleared. So that added on to the motivation greatly in my case. Because since you can clear the exam in such limited number of seats, that obviously gives you a confidence that in EPFO 400 seats are there, so obviously I'll be able to clear.
Yeah. So during all this journey, any very high or low point that you have basically gone through during your preparation journey?
Yeah, the lowest point that has been in it still continues, that I have never been able to clear the civil services mains examination because of my optional and other reasons. Since I was working also, so I used to prepare only for a limited time. But now, since I have decided to change my optional and I have skipped the last year's attempt, this year's attempt also I may skip. So I have time for that preparation. I will work on that and I will try to clear that exam also. That was the only low point in my case, because other exams generally I have been able to clear with ease, because since I am from IIT, so my QRE section is very good, so I don't need to prepare much on that. Just the GA section I used to prepare, and I used to go for the exam, and I used to clear, and then interviews. This funda of interview is clear in my case, so I did not face challenge on that.
So I really wish that you will definitely achieve your dream one day of becoming a civil services officer, right? So as we knew about this part, that as you have already mentioned about the civil services part, so and the kind of things that you have already experienced, so there are times when the people basically thinks about giving up when they are not getting the results in their favor. So at that point of time, how do you manage your motivation level? And can you tell me any some specific incident which also motivates you to basically prepare for that particular examination, be it EO, AO, APFC, or the civil services examination?
So, firstly, I would like to mention that when I joined this post of accounts officer in January 2023, so on the first day when the orientation session was held, so we went to meet our APFC. So I was very thrilled to watch his room, the official room that he was given. It was a very big room, and so many people were sitting inside. And then, as I worked on, I got to know that APFC basically controls the entire affairs of the office. So that served as the primary motivation for the APFC exam, which happened in at the same time in July only 2023. So that was one of the motivating factors, and most importantly, since to about the continuous motivation, to continuously motivate yourself, like for doing that, you can, when you're preparing for any exam, you should take a good test series, so that that keeps you in touch with the syllabus and your performance also. Like, suppose if you are taking a test series, suppose about civil services I'm talking. If you join some test series of prelims exams, so sectional tests will happen first, and
Right.
before then NCRT's tests will happen. So you should prepare in a piecemeal approach, that when you will prepare nicely and start giving part by part sectional tests, and if you start performing well in that, then that pushes you automatically. Then that process accelerates automatically. When you start performing well, when you have performed well in the sectional tests, you will obviously have a confidence of performing in the full syllabus test. Same goes for EPFO AO also. So that's why I said, to motivate yourself, you can start with labor laws, which are extremely factual, and then you can attempt the sectional mock tests that will give you a confidence. In the end, you should pick up accounts and just study the conceptual part. You may ignore the technicalities or the in-depth portion of accounts, like the share capital accounting and all, because that may not be asked in the EPFO EO AO exam. It is majorly asked in SEBI. So, for example, I'll give the conventions, the principles, basics about balance sheet, basics about this trial balance and all. You should prepare them and learn them by heart, the facts associated with that, and then you can delve into your civil services syllabus also in a similar manner. Then you can start attempting the full length mock test. That's how you will get motivated over the time. That is what I will say.
So I would say it is quite a very practical approach, that always keeping in touch with something that you are preparing for, and when you will be scoring good there, it will always keep your motivation levels really high. But at times when we feel low, right, and we feel really very stressful, so during that particular time, what was your support system and how did you manage the stress levels?
Actually, my support system was my family only, because like, especially when I left the job in 2020. So it was a very hard decision for me, because during COVID
Mhm.
times, I was losing job, and there was no chance of getting another job also during that time. But my family stood by me. They said that, our target is civil services only. So you should not bother to leave this job if you are not able to prepare properly, because like these banking jobs now, they are just like it can I can say they are a mini form of your private sector. They are semi government in nature. They are not exactly government in which you will get full time for your preparation. Neither they are totally private, because job security is there. So like there must be a balance. There is a balance between the two in that. But that this job, the job profile should, it should fit into your personality, like your targets. And if this does not happen, then you should not, hesitate to, take what do you say, bold decisions. And you should, go by what your mind and brain. And if you are having family with your on your side, then there is no problem at all. Then obviously, you should go with your target only. That is what.
Second time. Hello.
Yes, sir.
So I was asking you that how was your family's reaction on being selected as an EO AO officer for the second time?
They were happy only because I got back my job for the second time, because I had resigned in August in
Yes.
2023. But they supported me in that decision also. So they were obviously happy, and like my rank has also boosted this time. So they were even more happier, because
So
I may get North India this time. Otherwise, I had been posted in Bangalore in South India. But even that office, like even South Indian offices are good, because South Indian culture and people are very good. So everybody knows that. So obviously you are free from your office politics. Bosses are supportive. Like my RC1 and my APFC in regional office of Malleshwaram in Bangalore, they were very supportive. And if I would like to mention, I prepared for these exams in my office only. Even on Saturdays and Sundays also, I used to go to the office, prepare for there for 6 7 hours, and I used to come back. Unfortunately, I could not clear APFC, but I am still happy that my rank in this AOU got boosted this time. That was a good thing that happened.
and what was your rank this year?
177.
Okay, 177. That's really good to hear. And apart from this, Mr. Prince, so what makes your success really special?
Sir, the like I said that success really special is like, since I have got a good rank this time, matlab better than last year.
Mm,
So the chances of my, not I would not say I may get home posting, but I may get states around Delhi. That is one of the happiest part of this election of my, in my case at least, because otherwise it is very difficult to handle your preparation, because in traveling from Bangalore to Delhi so many times, it
mm.
takes lot of time and energy also. And this is one thing. And second part is that I am having one more level 10 exam in the pipeline. So now I am having this level 8 job of UPSC, so that will help me in the interview of that exam also. So in that regard also, in that context also, this selection is very unique for me.
Right. And one thing I would like to draw all the aspirants' attention towards his journey is that the clarity about your goal. So can you throw also some light about the clarity that you are having? Because despite preparing for other examinations and also clearing them, still you were really focused on your major goal. So how exactly it works?
It works because once you are having clarity of your goal, then you will obviously prepare nicely and properly for that exam. And since it is civil services in my case, or it may be RBI grade B in any in the case of any banking aspirant, these are like the toughest examinations of of their respective sectors. So if you are very well prepared with those exams, if you are reading the content regularly, so then the other exams automatically you will be able to clear one or the other. So that is the most important thing. Like in that regard, that if you are having clarity about your the parent goal, then you will be regular and thorough with your journey, and you will be preparing, you will be giving your 100%. So one day you will clear that exam also, the parent exam also, one day you will clear, if you are having clarity. Otherwise, so no exam you will be able to clear, because then you will not study properly, then you will not be serious about your preparation also. So that's how it helps, that if your goal is a big exam, then you give your 100% in clearing that, and in the process you will have so many achievements as in mind.
Right. So, as it's been a long journey of yours as well, where you have really cleared some very good examinations, and you are still on your major goal as well. So any special message or any special thing that you would like to extract from your journey, and that could be very helpful for the aspirants who are basically aiming for any desired examination that they are preparing for, and some kind of
One,
mistake that you have committed and you want that others should not commit those mistakes.
yes, sir. So, sir, the primary thing is that you should be very much self-confident about yourself. Self-efficacy should be there in you because otherwise you cannot achieve anything. One thing is that, like, despite even if you are not clearing some exams in the beginning, you should not get disheartened because even examinations are a piece of your experience only. Like even in my case, if I'll give my example, I have not cleared the mains of regulatory exams, which I gave last year. But that I did not let that impact myself because I know that that is this is a part of the process. Every exam's nature is different, pattern is different. Your preparation might not be customized to that exam, but it may be customized to some exam. Especially in banking, this is there because so many exams are there. So if you are consistent with your efforts and preparation, one or the other exam you will be able to clear. That's for sure. So you should not get disheartened even if you don't clear the prelims or the first round of the phase one of some exam. You should continue with your preparation, and one day you will clear finally, as you have seen in my case. And the second part is that you should not doubt, like especially in EPFO AO EO this happens, for civil services aspirants. They feel that यार ये अलग 3 सेक्शन है, अब इनके ऊपर कौन
Hmm.
टाइम लगाए,
Hmm.
अब ये कहाँ मैं प्रिपेयर करने बैठ जाऊँ, सिविल सर्विसेज ही इतना ज्यादा है, मेरा मेरा प्रीलिम्स है, मेरा मेंस है, ये सब है. लेकिन दैट इज वेयर दे कमिट दिस मिस्टेक because as I said that UPSC is very uncertain. मतलब even you, if you might be aware of that, even if a person has given interview in a single year, he cannot be sure of clearing the prelims in the next year. That's how that exam is, that much uncertain that exam is. So if you take out the time, if you spare some time, because as I said, it will add diversity to your knowledge also, and to your time also, and your energy also. So this is specifically from my life. I'm telling this, like when this
Hmm.
exam happened in July, I was having mains in August, in September, I think. So this exam, immediately we had prelims on 28th May that year. So this exam was scheduled almost after 1 month. So it was very difficult for me also to manage both the sides, but I managed somehow. I told myself that, most important thing is that even if I get an interview call in UPSC, I should be having a job in hand. That is the most important thing. That should serve as the primary motivation for these exams.
Hmm.
And especially when you are thorough with the preparation of your parent exam, as I said, and you just need to, read 2, 3 sections apart from that. Like in SEBI, though it's a very large syllabus. In SEBI, I know, I remember it's there are 6 sections. In that case, it may be difficult. Like you may not target SEBI along with civil services, but EPFO EO AO exams like that, they can be targeted, and they can be prepared very nicely along with that. And you should spare, like, daily you can spare around 1.5 hour to this to this sections which are not there in your civil services. Even that would do because these are factual sections. So that's how you should divide your time, and you should not doubt that whether this will give result or not, because if you are preparing them nicely, they will obviously give result.
Definitely. So very practical approach and practical examples that sir has mentioned to you, and definitely you are really a good source of inspiration for all the aspirants who will be watching you, and they will be really learning a lot from you. So one last question, and that
Yes, sir.
is, how did EduTap helped you in your journey of becoming an EOA officer?
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, I have been associated with EduTap since I think 4 years now. So I have, for all the regulatory bodies, I have, since I have prepared for all of them almost. So I have taken EduTap courses only for, even for ICR AO also, which was a level 10 job
Hmm.
that came last year. Even for that mains examination also, I had taken EduTap master course only because the greatest thing that EduTap I like about EduTap is their customized approach to every exam. Matlab, if you will talk about, if I'll compare EduTap with other channels or institutions, the bad thing about the other people is that they have a single format of their mock test which they will provide in every test, in for every exam, which is not the case because every exam pattern is different. Like SSC is different from your banking,
Hmm.
banking is different from your UPSC. So this is the best part I like about EduTap, that they spend time and energy in preparing customized material. Like in SEBI, for example, in SEBI also, like I have seen the notes are different, which you will get in your EPFO master course. Although the syllabus is the same, but they know that that the kind of questions, especially in accounts, which are asked in EPFO, they are basically more conceptual and more theoretical in nature. But in SEBI, numericals are asked. So if you will compare that, EduTap course for SEBI will have more numericals and more technical information about accounts. But in EPFO, they will mention you what is going to be asked in the exam. They have that thing in mind and they prepare their courses like that, and that's why they are quite doable also. Matlab, they don't extend unnecessarily like other institutes do. That they will, like, I will not just to mention, like, this section of labor laws is there. What
Hmm.
some other institutes do is that they will just give you the entire act in a bullet form, but that will not help. Matlab, that act you can download from their website also and read. Then what is the difference between a course and self study? But
Exactly.
but when EduTap material I took, I found that they have basically jotted down the crux of the act and the things which can be asked in the exam. That is also very exam. And we as aspirants, as amateurs, we don't know that what kind of questions will be asked from labor laws. But since EduTap is having experienced faculty and good content creators, so that helps a lot in your saving your time and energy and clearing the exam. Because sometimes, so even I have seen direct questions also coming from the quizzes, especially in the sections which are extremely factual, like
Hmm.
science, labor laws, and even accounts also for that matter.
So good to hear that we had also given some at least some small contribution to your success as an EOA officer. And really, the team will also be very happy after hearing all of that. So it was really great, sir, to listen your own journey of hard work, perseverance, and dedication. And definitely, I congratulate you on the behalf of whole EduTap team for becoming an EOA officer. And definitely, I really wish that you will definitely be clearing your major goal as well one day in your life, and that might be very soon. So,
Yes,
guys,
sir.
I believe that you have also learned a lot from Prince sir, as he has really mentioned a very practical examples from his life and the things that he has learned during his journey of preparation. And you can also learn a lot from his practical approaches that he have mentioned specifically about your preparation for the content as well as the preparation about your interview part. So we will keep on coming up with such kind of more success stories for all of you. Till then, stay happy, stay healthy. Wish you all happy learning.